Many of us have woken up to the fake money and the banking scam, fake health and the pharmaceutical scam, fake government, fake climate crisis. Never mind COVID, the list goes on. But most people have not yet found what could be the most insidious and deadly campaign ever perpetrated against humanity. I'm talking about the food conspiracy. How our food is actually being used as a weapon to destroy humanity's health, make us sick, addicted, weak, dependent, and subservient. If this is news to you, listen up because you are missing vital information that could literally save your life. The modern world is witnessing a very real pandemic, and it's one of chronic disease. In other words, they're killing us slowly. Everyone's health is collapsing, and when they're pointed out, the causes are obvious. Yet almost nothing is being said, and even less is being done. It's up to you. Only you can take back responsibility and control. Exactly how you can do this is explained in the presentation, The Food Conspiracy, which is linked in the description. It'll reveal why and how this war is being waged against us, and show you exactly how you can take back control over your family and your health. Prepare to be surprised, shocked, and to have many of your beliefs challenged. Click the link in the description right now, watch the video, and find out what you can do today. Welcome back to Forbidden Knowledge News. I'm your host, Chris Matthew. Today my guest is Sean Hibbeler. First, I have a couple of announcements. The first episode of the Forbidden documentary series is completed. It will soon be available on Amazon Prime and other streaming platforms. But if you like, it's available for you to download right now for only $5 if you would like a pre-release copy. This is going to be a unique limited edition version of episode 1 that you won't be able to see on Amazon, so be sure to get your copy now. That also helps fund future episodes, and we greatly appreciate that. And it's a wonderful episode. I am very proud of it, and the next one it will be even better. Just click that link in the description or visit our website, which is forbiddenknowledge.news. If you're a Rokfin subscriber, you can watch it directly on Rokfin pay-per-view. You can now get Forbidden Knowledge News live 5 days a week on Rokfin, Rumble, and our website. Again, that website is forbiddenknowledge.news. It's also the home of the Forbidden Knowledge Network. That is where we feature some of your favorite podcasts. You can always get every new episode of Forbidden Knowledge News on Rokfin, Rumble, and all podcast platforms. Be sure to sign up on Rokfin. It's also where you get our premium content, and best of all, you get all the premium content from every amazing creator on Rokfin. Just go to rokfin.com/FKN+ or use the link in the description to sign up now. Today I want to welcome back to the show Sean Hibbeler. He decided to change his career from producing sports-related hype videos and highlight reels to dedicating his time on producing short films and documentaries based off of transparency and truth. Sean, welcome back. How you doing?
Good, man. Thank you for having me back. I appreciate it as always.
Yes, great to have you back. This is going to be a very interesting show. Today we're going to dive back into really one of the most divisive and controversial topics being discussed today, and that's the possibility that we reside not on a ball hurling through space, but a stationary realm some call flat Earth. I like how you call it true Earth. I myself am still in the camp of I have no idea what we're in, but I know I don't trust anything NASA, the government, or mass media tell me. I believe that anything we see on television or social media has the PSYOP stamp of approval. If you see it on the news, if you hear it from the government, it has cleared the proper propaganda channels and has been approved for your consumption. I can't wait to get into this. You have some very interesting insights into this, and you have your new film since the next Level with Me, which we're going to discuss today. Before we get into this, for the audience that may not be familiar, remind them a little bit about yourself and what brought you to make this film.
Yeah, I'm Sean Hibbeler from Hibbeler Productions, filmmaker by day, producer by night. I have been making videos on the truth. I'm going to be blatant about it. Since 2016, then YouTube started banning me and censoring me and striking me. And then the pandemic happened. And then I decided to start my own business and become a full-time filmmaker and travel and make films that the truth community wants, in the sense of not for them, but for their peers, for the people they're trying to wake up. I'm kind of like the middleman in a sense, where it's like everybody's talking about either Tartaria or Flat Earth or 9/11, whatever rabbit hole. And when their in my opinion, when their peers are like, well, what can we watch on it? Oh, and then at that point, it becomes YouTube channels, content creators, things like that, which wake all of us up. But when there's something in the sense of a film, a documentary, something, especially if they could stream it on their TV and download it, it's like, it gives it that authentic feel where it's like, hey, this is a real film. Let's sit down and watch and absorb the information the same way that we've all been programmed in our childhood through film and movies of lies. So I'm trying to do kind of the same concept that we got fucked up with growing up with the brainwashing, but I'm trying to do it with truth, entertainment, entertaining and truth combined. It's like, how do you do that? I'm trying. So, and that's what I do, man, is I'm trying to make films on topics that people want to know about, people want to hear about and learn about, but not bore them.
Right on. Well, when it comes to this particular topic about the realm we live on, what were some of the most profound pieces of the puzzle and bits of information for you that really got you to start looking more deeper into this?
Yeah, in terms of Earth, it was more about proving the globe to myself in the beginning stages. I'm not a gullible person. I didn't just like, oh, look, a flat Earth video. Oh man, I'm awakened now. I watched the video on YouTube. It was many weeks and months of researching. When I saw 200 Proofs, the video by Eric Dubay, it made me question some stuff. And I think as a grown man or woman, that video will make you question things. Doesn't matter. I don't care how much you're married to this ball Earth and how much you love it and how many posters and hoodies and magazines and comic books you have. That video will still make you go, you know what? Yeah, I guess that does, a few of those things at least make sense, right? So that's kind of where I started. And I'm like, okay, this is making sense. This is kind of creepy. Let me just squash this. Dark rabbit hole seemed like at the time, like that was like a deep one. I don't know about this one. Don't want to get made fun of, right? Who does? But I'm a realist, man. So I just went to NASA's website. That's it. I just went to their website and I looked around myself with a critical eye, probably for the first time. But again, from a child, you're taught this stuff. And as you grow up, it's really not brought up again. It's all over the place. It's everywhere. It's in every movie, every show. There's just a globe place there, right? It's like, it's always everywhere. Logos, everything, brainwashing mechanisms are just globes growing up. But it's not like in high school as a freshman, they're talking about curvature or they're talking about, the rotation, the spin of the earth as a freshman or as a senior. It doesn't happen really. So it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind as you grow up. And then all of a sudden, this wave of truth started happening, I think since 9/11, but it really picked up in 2013, 2014, 2015. It started getting heated. And with the Earth, for me, it was just going to NASA's website and seeing that it's all cartoons and CGI and glamorous things that look pretty. But I'm like, wait a minute, for sure, that's not a photograph, So then I'm looking on their website. for photograph, the word photograph taken by, you know, astronaut Bill or something. No, image. It's nothing but images and imagery, composite images, where they're admitting in the sense like, yeah, this is an image. It's a representation of something artistically, but it's not a photograph. No one went click, and then here's a photo of the Earth or of Mars or of all this stuff that they sell us since birth. So that really made me go, wait a minute. Then I started looking at documents of NASA's. I said, well, legally they have to put spherical, you know, that they test their aircrafts, for instance, over a sphere that's rotating at this much, you know, miles per hour. And when I started looking at their documents, all their documents stay about, at least their aircrafts talk about a non-rotating, flat, stationary Earth. And I couldn't believe my eyes. That's the moment where I go, okay, there's something here, because NASA's documents are legally admitting this. And no one's talking about it. No one knows about these. And not only that, why would they have that at all, ever? Even as a quote unquote, a flat Earth, we're just testing over a flat Earth. We're just going to put some quotes. So the military has documents talking about the same thing. So does the CIA. So again, for me, not seeing any concrete evidence on NASA's own website, and then seeing their own documents and the military and the CIA state the same, and hearing tons of pilots, in person, just walking out of a plane. Hey guys, I got a question. It was a no-brainer. I was like, oh man, yeah, we're flying over a stationary plane. What's this motive here? Well, what a big lie. Holy shit. They lie about so many things. So I wasn't too shocked, but I was more along the lines of, why are they doing this? Why would they need to do this? Now it all makes sense. But in the beginning, I had no idea why. I had no clue. So it's confusing.
How many pilots have you interviewed or spoken to about this very thing?
Interviewed only a few, in terms of video conference calls or audio or whatever may have you. In person, many, but not an interview style. I'm not going to go in the cockpit with a film, you know, like my cinematic camera, like, hey, sit down real quick. You got a minute? Eventually, I'll work my way to try to figure out how to get that done. These pilots are scared. I know a pilot in Austria. I'm not going to name names, but it's the point of legit pilots don't want to be face on film. Hey guys, I can prove the Earth's a stationary plane by my instruments, because then they're canceled, they're suicided. Who knows? Well, yeah. Who knows? But again, it's up to them. You can't make someone go outside of their comfort zone, man. But I do have
Have any of those guys told you that they are indeed being like threatened or anything?
No, it's not the case. I do know of, not personally, but I do know of a pilot through third-party peers that have told me that they interviewed them on a podcast or something. They were fired twice, 2 different times. I've heard that story. I wasn't involved in that, but I heard those stories. And I think because of those stories and because of who knows what else really goes on behind the scenes, like the pilot, the specific one I'm talking about in Austria, who's helped me out in the past with just information, right? He's a pilot. And he knows he can prove this. I might be next year. I might be traveling out to Austria to go up in a plane with him. I think the deal would just be maybe blur his face or disguise at that point. But he's like, fuck this, man. I'm sick of it. I got balls. Let's do something. Let's go up in the air. We got gyroscopes. We got this. We got that. So it's like, let's do something type of vibe. And again, 9 out of 10 flights I go on, and I travel a lot nowadays, I always ask. And eventually I'm probably going to get as shady as this might sound, but sometimes being a filmmaker, you got to think outside the box. I think I might just get those camera glasses and just go in the cockpits every flight and talk to them, and then blur their face. Yes, I'll blur their face, guys, because I respect them, their profession. I'll even alter their voice. I'll go the extra mile. The only issue is the backlash that I foresee is, oh, well, we can't see their mouth. That's dubbed or whatever. So that's what annoys me about that whole concept is people will just come back, oh, that, I can't really tell if that's him. You can't see their mouth. And it's ridiculous. It's like, dude, I'm trying to protect their identity and their career. So you have to work with me. So if there's a way to meet them in the middle or something, or maybe just blur everything but their mouth, I don't know. But I'll try. But I've had too many conversations, even just walking in the airport, the terminal, waiting. I see a pilot sitting down, eating his lunch or something. I'll wait till he's done eating his lunch. He's just chilling. And I just go sit by him. Like, hey, I got a quick question, man. You're a pilot. I always talk to him. And there's not, maybe once. So, oh, no, it's a globe. No, it's a globe. No, we're spinning. And then he got like triggered and then like left, like didn't want to talk. I even sat next to one on a plane once the whole flight, and he wasn't a flat earther, but once I started doing my thing where I started acting like I'm just confused. But how does this make sense, man? I always blame my cousin. I don't have a cousin I speak to, but it's like, yeah, my cousin, man, he's just getting on my nerves with this flat earth stuff. So that's kind of how that's how I do it on, in public. But I get in people's heads. Even the pilot was like, you're right. Like a lot of stuff. I'm like, man, some of these pilots just don't know, man. They just like a teacher at school. They're opening up a Rockefeller book and they're lying to every child. But the teacher doesn't really know. Like, can you go into school like, fuck you, teacher? Like, no, like they don't know. And I don't think some of these pilots know either, but a lot of them do. A lot of them do, man. It's crazy.
What are some of the most interesting things that pilots have told you that indicate we're indeed on a flat?
Well, the fact that they never, ever once, and they laugh about this one, they don't dip their nose down ever. And if you scale down, if you do something even on the computer, you scale down a globe and you scale down the airplane and you're going from the top of the ball to the bottom. So I would just say US all the way down to China. You have to dip the nose of your plane down. Like what? This is beyond common sense. And you have to do it consistently to go. You're going around the ball while it's spinning. It's like, it doesn't even make sense how you can even fly if that was the case. We're going 4 different directions. Oh, but they're like, oh, the airplane spins with the earth. Oh, it's spinning with the earth. Okay, that's what takes away from helicopters just rising up and then you land in Africa. So like they have an excuse for everything, but the excuse doesn't make sense along with the valid proof of it. There is none. So a lot of the pilots would just tell me that the only direction they go while they're flying is maybe 0.1 or 0.2 degrees up. They dip their nose up. They never dip their nose down. If they dip their nose down, we're fucking landing the plane, guys. And you're going to feel that. You're going to wake up to that dip. So that and the fact that they, based on their artificial horizon, their gyroscope, there is no curvature. There is no movement. They can see stuff 500, 600, 700 miles away in the distance through their cockpit, I've heard too. So it's like, that should be hidden by like 20 miles of curvature just down the ball, but you see all this shit ahead of you. They can see like 2 states away. They're like, yeah, looks like Kansas has a storm. I'm like, how the fuck do you know this? I'm looking like where we are, and they can see so far. We're not on a ball, man.
What would you think are some of the biggest reasons why this is something that would be hidden from the masses? Why they'd want to keep what we're on a secret from us?
Well, there's 2. For me, there's 2. One is the creator. I think it pushes people away from even the possibility of a creator. What it does is it takes a distant God or a godless world and it destroys it. Flat Earth crumbles it because, which is what they want. We all know that they would love a godless world, a Big Bang Theory, godless, scientific, pseudoscience world, or at least a distant God where, the closest star is 36 trillion miles away. So how far is God? Like, God damn, like you can't feel real connections with some distances they tell you. You short circuit your brain with these distances. So I think the creator, they push it away. They want people to, at minimum, just believe in a God. It's bullshit to me. I hate believing. You should hate believing and stuff too. That's for Santa Claus fairy tales, believing. I believe. I know there's a creator. Now, I used to kind of not know or maybe lean towards atheism. But once you understand the design and once you see his creation, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee the system that was designed for us. And these lights in the sky above us are close and small, and they're designed for us, and there's purposes for them as humans, and we thrive off of them. And this is what our designer did for us. But again, so besides the creator, it hides more land, it hides more resources, it hides more exploration and opportunity and the unknown, right? Where it's like, hey, well, let's go past the 60th parallel. Because people tell me all the time, where's the edge? The Earth's flat, where's the edge? Well, none of us have ever mentioned an edge, ever mentioned falling off something, or ever said we're a pancake floating in space. This is a realm. It is a design system that is contained from the top. In my opinion, it's some sort of hydrogen above us, some like a H3, a really dense, impenetrable form of water above us, which is why the sky is blue, which is why the rain comes down, which is why the old tales of fish coming from the sky, all that starts making sense in that point. But at the same time, if you go outside of the 7 continents that we know, everyone's seen a flat earth map. So whether you laugh at it or not, you've seen one. Some of them are kind of but at the same time, you can concept what I'm saying. Outside of those 7 continents, what's holding those 7 continents and the oceans, the water that we know, the world oceans in, is Antarctica. It's the highest landmass on Earth, for a good reason. It has to hold in our ocean. I always call it a giant bathtub, but doesn't necessarily connect. There's probably inlets and openings, and it melts, and who knows how all of the system works. But at the same time, water needs to be contained. But once you get outside of that container, as I joke, once you hop outside your bathtub, there could be other bathtubs over there, man. We don't know. And once you realize that in 1958, when Admiral Byrd went over there and said, hey, there's another continent the size of North America. No one's ever seen it. And he was blown away. I can't believe no one's been to this continent. It's huge. And they're like, oh, yeah, that was on live TV. Let's just, okay. Hey, kill him 6 months later. And then we'll do a treaty where no one can travel over there ever again. And then we'll start NASA from Nazi traitors to just manipulate you. And then we'll have 15 years of pre-programming you for walking on the moon, a rock in the sky, apparently. We're going to go walk on that. But we're going to have 15 years of pre-programming you with Walt Disney's help. And then we're going to give you a shitty black and white, sketchy moon landing, talk to the president on a landline phone, do nothing until the Challenger we have to fake to play some violin strings and get more money, steal more money from you, and then do nothing again until Flat Earth comes out. NASA's done nothing for humanity, nothing for you, the listener, nothing for your mother or your grandma. They've done nothing, but yet the space agencies steal, because yes, it's stealing. They don't do anything. And they lie. They're stealing $330 minimum billion a year, $330 billion a year in tax money to lie to you and to possibly, again, I can't go over there and check, guys, but all the red flags, multiple red flags that there's more land, and in the north too as well, man. All ancient maps, civilizations spoke about 4 land masses in the north. A magnetic force in the north, a magnetic mountain called Mount Meru, which is why all compasses point north. There's a force there that our creator designed, and we're supposed to go pass over there. We're supposed to come pass, the old tale with the compass, but you're supposed to be going that way. We're supposed to go to the north and see what's there, and we're also not allowed to go there. Go ahead and try.
While we're on the topic of possibly having way more land than we'd ever been told or know about, the theory is that what we know as the continents on our planet or these 7 continents are surrounded by a massive wall of ice, and outside of that is many different continents. And I've seen the old maps that indicate this very thing, where there's like 12 or 13 land masses outside of this circle that surrounds us. First of all, could you tell us a little bit more about that map and where that was found, what that is?
Yeah. Well, to me, anything above 73 miles, below 7.5 miles down, and anything outside the 60th parallel are speculation. And I'm going to repeat that. Anything that goes up past 73 miles, because that's the highest recorded anything I've ever seen, which was a amateur rocket that hit something. They couldn't go past it. Anything 73 miles up, 7.5, I believe, miles down to Guinness Book of World Records for the deepest hole ever dug, 7.5, 7.8 miles. Anything below there, it's impenetrable too. They've already admitted that. So anything below 7.5 miles is speculation, and anything past 60's parallel is speculation, man. So I'm gonna. It's just a warning that I'm speculating at this point. But there has been many maps of the past. There was an old map found in a Buddhist temple that had like at least 40 continents on there, I believe, with our known continents that we know about, that we kind of similar shapes in the center. So that kind of was like, wait, you know, even if it was a fantasy, it's like, why don't we know about this till this truth leak started coming out in 2014? This should have been something that we laugh about as kids or something. Oh yeah, there used to be these old maps. This is hidden stuff, man. This is stuff that's just surfacing now. There was a book in many books in the 1800s talking about more land as well, and other maps. But the main book is that the Iron Republic, which is eyewitness testimony of a man, his firsthand account of being fed up in the tyrannical states and getting in a ship, getting his crew together, getting the fuck out, saying, let's just get out. Let's just go somewhere, and wherever we land, we land. They got lost at sea. They got lost. They knew they were in Antarctica. They didn't know how to get back around. They got through an inland. They got past. They were lost for many, many weeks, and then they stumbled upon land, not knowing what it was. And this civilization called themselves the Iron Republic. They knew that when they said they're from New York, they knew where New York was, not allowed to be here, vice versa, but they greeted him with open arms. They had advanced technology over there. I'm talking flat screen TVs hung on the wall. They described things that sounded like the internet in the book. They're talking about electric cars, hovering crafts, electrostatics, all this technology in these outer worlds, these civilizations, that I think we go over there and steal and come here and sell it to us. They have free energy over there. There were things in the book that even if you think the book was fantasy, you could pretend that's fine. It's an illusion if you think that was a fantasy. But pretend it was a fantasy book. So I'm sure like Wikipedia would probably say it was. They're still talking about more land past Antarctica. There's more continents. They're still talking about civilizations over there and flat screen TVs, electric cars. The technology that we have now was being written about in the 1800s. It's really crazy. What was the other one? Smoky God, The Worlds Beyond the Poles. These are books from the 1800s, copyrighted in the 1800s, written by men and women that had this experience over there. So when Admiral Byrd actually went over there to check, oh yeah, there's more land. So what they do to the new world that we're a part of now, the slave system, they completely indoctrinated us with moon landings coming soon. Forget about Byrd. Never mention that shit again. And started a treaty where you can't explore past where he was talking about, and you still can't. And that treaty started in 1959 or 8, and it doesn't expire till 2040 something. And that was back then. They're like, doesn't expire till year 2040, I think 45. And it's still going on now. And if we dissolve that treaty, we'd have our answer, guys.
Admiral Byrd's diary, this was brought forward by his son, correct? Yeah. And this is the only verification we have.
Yeah, that's why I don't talk about it too much. But yeah, there was a leaked diary out there of Admiral Byrd, where it reigns true to me, man. It feels true to me. It feels like this is something they would cover up. And sometimes the truth can be crazy, guys. I don't know why people believe they believe in gray men with bug eyes flying in on spacecrafts from 40 billion light years away. That's okay for people to grasp with no evidence, but it's not okay for someone to think that there's maybe more land, more civilizations, humanoids, other humanoids over there. They have teeth, they have eyes, you know, they're just like humans, but maybe a different shade, maybe a different structure. The way an Indian looks different than a fucking African American, or a Asian looks different than a Jew. It's like you could get any two ethnicities or races or whatever you want to call them. We all look different. We're all human, though. We all piss and shit, guys. But there could be more of us somewhere else, is all I'm saying. At least that's what has been stated in the 1800s.
Now, just like many of the other conspiracy or truth communities that are circulating, like even in the UFO community, for example, there has been infiltration by three-letter agencies, military, industrial, individuals looking to muddy the waters, and I think that's no different with the Flat Earth movement, and I think a perfect example of that would be the Flat Earth Society. A lot of things that came out of there. I think there's a lot of just complete crap and misinformation coming out of that, but it's intentionally done to discredit it, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, I mean, the Flat Earth Society's been around right after NASA, not too long after NASA started, maybe 10 years, 15 years at the most. A lot of people knew the Earth was flat and they weren't going to be bought on any of that. Like, they just, like, when you know, so there is no, no piece of propaganda is going to change society's mind, especially then. But they knew that they needed something to fall back on, kind of like watching a 9/11 conspiracy documentary on 9/11. Like, what are you going to learn from that, really? They're going to tell you the truth. The most you'll learn is, oh, I think George Bush kind of knew. Oh, my God. Like, really? That's so irrelevant to that day. But it's the same thing where it's like the Flat Earth Society will be like, oh, yeah, the Earth's flat. But did you know that it's a pancake in space and it's going up? It's flying up. So gravity's going down, but we're flying up at a constant velocity. Like, so they're just like, it's just garbage. It's garbage information. None of it is anything we speak about. And what they do is they merge that in with Hollywood. So now Hollywood, CNN, the media, anyone, when they depict flat Earth or when they want to make fun of it or have a piece on it, Jimmy Kimmel, anybody, they show that pancake in space because they want the normal person or even the person that goes, you know what, there is some questions I have, though. Some of the flat Earth stuff makes sense. And then they fall back to the pancake in space. They can't get over that. They're like, yeah, no, that doesn't. Well, no, we're not saying that, though. And then they go to Netflix and they see Behind the Curve and then they hit play and then they see a bunch of, people that are just, in my opinion, some of the people in the film are just, controlled, man, put it that way. And they go in there to make their money and to do the damage that they've done. And then some of the people are innocent in that film that were edited and played out of context. Like when Bob Nodell, rest in peace, when he says something like, we saw the 15-degree rotation of the ring laser gyroscope. He was speaking about the sky. But Netflix and Delta Productions, they're not going to tell you the truth. They're not going to tell you what we're talking about. They're going to show a globe spinning. And then, oh, look, Bob just said that the Earth's spinning 15 degrees. No, he didn't. You're taking it out of context. This is a mockumentary made from Hollywood, NASA. They all got involved in this. You don't have NASA astronauts, and you don't walk into NASA's facility with open arms if there's not a plan. So they knew exactly what they were going to do to spin this flat Earth because it was blowing up. It was number one. It was viral. It was, being searched more than Trump and Hillary at that time. What are they going to do? They hijacked the algorithm. Sorry, everyone that had their algorithms jacked. It was flat Earth's fault. But this is how big it was. They put all their money into hit piece after Comedy Central skit, after Neil deGrasse Tyson bit, Bill Nye, everyone involved, Ludacris, go out there, say something that flat Earth is stupid. They did everything they could, just like COVID. They did everything they could to sell the fact that we are in a ball, but yet they still have yet to prove it. It's 2023, guys. We should have a video of an astronaut doing a 360 with his camera phone by now. The reason he can't do a 360 with his phone is because there's a thing called a fourth wall. And you can't do a 360 in a TV show either, guys. And that's something that we should have. We should have unedited footage from ground to this upper space fantasy with POV, with seeing space junk, with seeing shit everywhere. That's never happened, guys. 0 times in humanity have they filmed anyone going into this space thing and seeing all this beautiful space shit. It's never happened. There's 0 footage of it, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the lie. It's gone on too long. And for people that are in the truth community, meaning they're against this COVID shit, they're against 9/11, they don't understand the truth. What is the holdup? That's what I'd like to know. And that's the number one question I have for everyone listening is what the fuck is the holdup? The ridicule stopped once the algorithms were changed. People woke up, wait, hold on. They're flagging all this flat Earth stuff. They're hiding all of it. Come on, guys. Let's be realistic here.
Now let's get into some of the evidence that you're presenting in the newest film. You focus on the satellite enigma of Saddaloons. Tell us a little bit about what you learned about this and why this indicates that we're not on what we're being told. Yeah, well, when you ask anyone in society in the middle of the street, hey, what's a satellite? And the number one thing they'll say is something orbiting our ball Earth, spinning around, maintaining its position while everything's going in 4 different motions. This satellite is maintaining its position and keeping up with the rotation and doing all that magically. Never been filmed. But that's what they'll think, right? And that's what we're sold on. But in the film, Level With Me, we befriended
randomly too, which is, well, not randomly, I'd call it God or the universe leading me there. But, me and my buddy Tanner Stewart, we went to Texas we just wanted to film a shot of him. Speaking of satellites, they're all attached on balloons since they started, and they still are. Every single one of them has a balloon attached to them, and via the helium, which NASA owns all the helium in the world. So that's a whole nother story. But we just wanted to film just aesthetics, and we drove all the way over there in Texas, a little town, and this is the head of NASA's Satelloon launch facility. It's their scientific balloon center. It's the main hub in America where they launch all their satellites. Okay. And again, just aesthetically, hey, get it for the background, let's film. And all of a sudden there's employees leaving for the day, and they did not like us filming outside. They're revving their engine. They're driving by us. I think they're just closing up. We didn't know. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, maybe we should wait. It seemed like the last guy was either listening or watching from his truck, whatever. He comes over in his white truck, makes a beeline into my camera zone. You're in public property now, man. You just fucked up. You don't know how many millions of people have already seen you. But he came in, what are you doing? You can't be filming. And we're reminding him quickly that this is the public property here. And then he quickly was like, kind of realized it. Oh, and then we befriended him. He's not my enemy. He works for NASA, probably one of the head guys over there at the facility. And, he's leaving and seeing who the fuck we are. And, he admits that he has no idea what we're talking about. When I kept bringing it up, or Tanner kept saying, like, what's up with these satellites orbiting, up in space? And he's like, what? Just confused. I'm like, the ones without balloons. And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, what? Like the what? And he's like, I've never, doesn't know what we're talking about. And all he's doing is confirming to us that they're all on balloons. And there's tons of footage of these Satelloons from the 50s to today being launched.
Well, that's something weird because if you Google this, it seems like they're making it out to be that it has always been a normal thing that they're launching these on balloons now. And I swear I grew up and I've never heard of this. I always thought the balloons were being launched on the rocket launches. Cape Canaveral would be launching them, and then they would go into an orbit around the planet. Oh, well, but that's what my understanding was.
That's all pure fantasy, man. There was a book written, I think in the 50s or 60s by Arthur C. Clarke regarding that. I mean, satellite fantasy, it's a book. It started as a book for those that want to know the history of it. It just started as a fantasy book, the way all Globe stuff does. Starts as a fantasy story, and I think NASA just decided, hey, let's just put it out there that's what we do. I mean, think about a NASA rocket launch when the NASA dweebs of the world are sitting there around eating their popcorn, watching the launch. 3, 2, 1, right? I know they don't do many anymore. SpaceX got the reins because they got more audience. NASA fails so many times that they're losing audience. But if NASA did a launch tomorrow, or SpaceX, it doesn't matter, you will see that you'll hear the operator. All right. So we're gonna project the satellites. All right, release so they're launching satellites into space, like you said. That's what you thought they were doing, which is what they still show us they're doing. But can I footage of that satellite? And not only that, but I thought that there was tens of thousands of them at all times magically orbiting our ball. Can I have one shot of that? And it's supposed to be like a huge garbage dump. While I see the shot of that, you should be able to see, meteors and crazy shit and planets and all this space junk and fucking orbiting movements. And listen, guys, there's no video footage or evidence of anything you think that there is or there should be. There's none. All you ever see is a selfie of an astronaut, and they show like a little curve behind their shoulder, a little glow. Dude, that's a layer. That is a 30-mile up jet or hot air balloon, whatever technology they have, that is recording our stationary plane, like all amateur hot air balloons without a fisheye lens, goes up, you see a stationary flat horizon. NASA does the same thing, probably in 8K, and then they go in the studio, or they add the fisheye lens while it's up there, Or they can just go in the studio and attach a fisheye lens filter effect, and it bends it however they want. They could bend it a lot, they could bend it a little, and then that's the background layer, guys. That's it. Now the astronaut is the front layer, and that's why they're not doing 360s. That's why there is no zooming in. Why can't the astronaut go up there and zoom in on an airplane? Or zoom in on something upside down, or a boat, a ship. Do something. Zoom in on an airplane. Zoom in on something. Do something besides the rhetoric, the bullshit that you have sold us for the last 10 years that people have been watching at least. They have accomplished and proven nothing. And it's 2023 and people still want to fall for it. It's sad, man. It really is sad. Unless you're a double mask, double jab sheep, I don't care about them. That they're not for this awakening. They're not for this war. They will lose in this war. They're going to lose their lives, unfortunately, if they keep going the way they're going. But for the people that are awakening, the people that are against the system, you can't defend a unproven ball earth theory started by Jesuits and Freemasons and different groups that don't have your best interests, but they want you to be filled with nonsense. You can't defend it anymore. I don't see. I think that's why a lot of people are waking up to flat Earth now more than ever, is because they can't fight it anymore. They know that they can't prove this shit, this ball Earth. They got to give it up. Sam Tripoli, I give much love to him. He's finally done with it. It's like, and more people will follow, in my opinion. You can't keep talking truth and saying, oh, maybe we're a ball. No, we're not. We're not. Once we're not, it's a better feeling, man, because this isn't 2016. You're not going to get made fun of anymore. Oh, the Earth. Oh, you're a flat earther. That shit's done. I go all over in public and people are like, you got anything on that? I've heard about that. They're not like, oh, you retard. It's a little bit changed because of COVID, man. And rightfully so, as it should. People should start waking up now. Everything's a lie, including especially our history, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I really like the term true Earth better than flat Earth or anything like that, because I think it's beyond anything anyone could ever understand at this moment. And I like to think of it maybe more along the lines of a simulated holographic reality that renders and replicates as we perceive it, possibly, but definitely not what the traditional model that we're being told of a ball hurling through space. That is definitely out the window for me. So, realm, possibly so. Sure. Now, while we're on NASA still, I want to go to the Challenger disaster, and you've done some deeper research into this possibility that there was no deaths on the Challenger explosion, that it was all faked. It was an operation to perpetuate the space myth.
Well, yeah, like this. I mean, they're all still here. You can't. It's one thing that there's 1 out of 7 astronauts that has a doppelganger with the same name. One that's weird, but I'd give it a break. 2 would be super strange. 3, fuck that. But 6 out of 7 have identical looking doppelgangers today with the same name. And most of them work for prestigious universities and they're protected. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Judith Resnick, the NASA astronaut from the Challenger, she is a current law professor at Yale. In the film Level with Me, we did approach her, Project Veritas attempted style. But she, as you could clearly see, freaked out, and being under probably a NDA, or at least or at the most a witness protection program that she's a part of with this whole psyop. Just watch her reaction is my point. But it's in the film. Michael J. Smith approached him in his driveway, and who is this guy? And it's completely him. I zoom in on his dimple here. You see his dimple, his birthmark dimple, like an imprint in his here, and same. It's the same guy. Listen, it's one thing to look like someone, okay, but 6 out of 7 dead astronauts should not have 6 out of 7 exact lookalikes, exact with the exact name, that again, we can only locate 2 in person, but both of their reactions is film worthy. Go watch it because it shows you like, holy shit, these guys lied. They're actually alive. And even if we didn't approach these 2 people in person, I'd still would have put in the film and I'd still be 100% sure. I'd talk to, what do you call them? Forensics. Okay. Now they wouldn't sign to be in the film, unfortunately, but legally I couldn't put it in the film. But listen, I wish I could say their firm name, but I signed that I wouldn't. 100% these are the same people. And it's funny how what it is for me though is that in 1984, 85, and I'm sorry, was it 86? Sorry, it's been a while since I even thought about the film. I've been working on something else, but I think 86 is when the Challenger happened. And all you gotta do is give them a haircut, a makeover, move them 4 states over. They're okay. It's not Michael Jordan. It's not Michael Jackson. They're going to be okay, these astronauts. They can live somewhere else. Give them a haircut. They're fucking fine. Think about it logically. It's that easy, guys, okay? That's it. That should be the end of it. But it's not. I mean, they didn't know there's going to be YouTube. There's going to be the internet. There's going to be Facebook. They didn't know any of that. And neither of these astronauts, they're stupid. They're like, oh, yeah, let's pick on Dick Scobie, Richard Scobie. Mr. Palsy Face. He lived his life, man. I think he was just in the witness protection in the beginning stages, and I think he had no one bothered him. There was no internet. I think he's an ugly dude. But I think, maybe the first year he laid low, and second year, went out there and did his thing. Then he started a firm. He started a marketing firm. Okay. They do branding, called the, Cows in Trees. Okay. Cows in Trees. It's a brand marketing firm. Repeat, marketing firm. Okay. So in 2016, when Flat Earth was viral for the first time, these videos were floating around. People were finding these astronauts present day, and cowsandtrees.com, which was Richard Scobie's firm, when you went to the website, and I did this back then, so there's nothing fake in my film, guys. Yes, the website's down. Wonder why. It's been down for years now, but we all have screenshots. Many different people, different sources have recorded screenshots of this website. Plus there's backlinks and Google images, and you can see the business existed and Dick Scobie was the owner. But when you went to cowsandtrees.com, it started off an animation of a cow with a rocket on a rocket ship, making the smoke trail of the Challenger with that 6 and then disappearing.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it's in the film. And then it said, welcome to Cows and Trees marketing and all. I'm like, wait, what the fuck does marketing have to do with space? So Richard Scobie's new firm, Cows and Trees in Chicago, Illinois, their website had a cow doing the Challenger 6. Wow, okay. Coincidence? Sure. Do they look exactly the same? Coincidence? Sure. Same name? Coincidence? Sure. Same age? Coincidence? Sure. No real backstory on this guy before the Challenger mission. I mean, he did one little fake mission before that. So these are people that are put in the system, probably Freemasons. The teacher, Krista McAuliffe, George Bush Sr. hand selects her, says, hey, we're going to do a contest. You won. The brand new teacher of a school, been there a year or two. Like, yeah, no, we're going to pull you out of school for the rest of your life and we're going to kill you, right? No, these were all people that they trusted. Really simple. No one's in those rockets anyways, but for sure not that one. They just send it up. 58 seconds later, it explodes. In my film, I have footage of Krista McAuliffe, the teacher, her dad, her father, outside of the live event after the rocket exploded. So they're already dead in the sky, guys. It exploded. This is when the smoke trail is making its way down and everyone's supposed to be crying by now. Her dad's fucking laughing his ass off because I don't think he knew that CNN was filming him. These are actors, guys. This is a stage set. As people know about COVID and the pandemic and everything the last 3 years, it's a stage. The world's a stage. They were doing it then. There's nothing new under the sun. They're creating these crisis actors, staged events. And the reason they did the Challenger is because, in my opinion, no one really gave a fuck about NASA back then, man. After the failed moon missions, playing golf on the moon, what are you guys doing? No, half the world still wasn't buying it then. People think everybody bought it. No, they didn't. So it kind of failed, and they kind of just like, they fell by the wayside in the 70s. I don't fucking care about NASA or what they're doing. So they needed to steal more of our tax money, so they came up with an option. Let's fake something and fake deaths and play those violin strings, because now it's like, now we have this collective conscious of, oh my God, NASA, they all died. And that teacher, oh man, the propaganda on her for the last year. And America loved her like that. So everybody's like, yeah, dude, how much more taxes do you need from us, NASA? Go ahead. We love you. And by the way, I don't want to, pretend you're 5 years old and this happened, or 10. You gonna want to go to space? Is that your dream now? Think about it, man.
Right.
Think about it. It's triple meanings for everything they do. They don't just do things for one reason. There's multiple reasons. That was trauma for every child. Every child that said, I want to go to space. I know there's not too many. Hopefully not nowadays too. But back then it's like, I want to go to space. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a Freemason apparently. But no, I want to go to space. Oh, fuck that. Oh, fuck that. Never mind. You know, and it worked, because when's the last time someone, even they pretended a human being went to space? Don't say Richard Branson is an alien. I'm talking about a human being, a teacher, a random teacher at a school. Like, no, man, no. So they buried that, man-made space flights along with the trauma-based mind control. Everybody is in kumbaya together, the country. These are heroes, fallen heroes. Let's celebrate them, blah, blah, blah. Fuck them all. They all deserve to die.
Well, let's get into one of the latest operations to not only perpetuate a narrative of space, but extraterrestrials, and the possibility that we could be having extraterrestrial encounters in the future. They could invade us. They may be a threat. There is a lot of disinformation coming from many angles in here, but the mainstream media is now one of our main sources for news on UFOs and extraterrestrials. So this alone is enough reason for us to know that this is some sort of psychological operation going on. What do you think is going on behind this?
Well, I think they're going to try to roll out, and this is how I ended Level With Me, but I think they're going to try to roll out this blue beam shit, which initially was called Operation Skybeam. So for those research journalists, buffs listening, Operation Skybeam, I know it's been, mainstreamed as Blue Beam now, but Project Blue Beam. But either way, I think they'll attempt it. I think they already kind of are. They're putting it here, putting it there, seeing their reaction, seeing if people TikTok it and say it's fake, and they really don't know. I think that in terms of UFOs, I don't know much about them, man. I try to have an open mind. Part of me goes, all that's fake. But then there's part of me that goes, our ancients spoke about these crafts. And a lot of the ancients said they came from under the ocean. And even in the book of Iron Republic, they're talking about them over there. So maybe in the outer lands, it's technology out there. I don't know. Maybe there's technology over there that it's just, we look at it as mainstream propaganda, as some gray guy from far away driving something to blow everybody up, and they're not human. But in reality, it's 100% human beings creating them and designing them, in my opinion. And who knows? I don't know. It's the unknown.
Even if you look at Admiral Byrd's story, there were advanced humanoids in the lands that he went to.
Human beings, exactly. Human beings that had advanced technology, advanced minds, advanced sources above. Who knows? I don't know. We can't go there, man. So here's the thing. There has to be UFOs, crafts, right? There's no way the hundreds of millions of people, normal people, in my opinion, maybe brainwashed, but they saw some. They claim that they saw the same. Like my buddy Austin Whitsitt. Okay, Whitsitt gets it. The one of the scientists in Level With Me. Okay, he does science experiments that'll blow your mind. He's an electrostatics genius, but he has told me he has seen them 6 or 7 times growing up. He's not lying. Why would he lie? He's a flat earther. And I trust him. He's a very smart man. one of the most intelligent men I've ever met. And he said, I've seen them, man. I don't know what that doesn't mean. It can't. He goes, for sure that didn't come from above. Like, that's proven. There's nothing can get up there, nothing can get below us past 7.5 miles. But could they come from the outer lands? Is this technology they have? Is this technology that we stole from them and reverse engineered? And now we have it. So if we have, I think that America has some, design crafts working off of electrostatics. If you don't know what that is, please research it, because there is no gravity. Everything's electric. Everything's electrostatics. They can manipulate things with this electrostatic charge. Okay, which is what Tesla wanted to talk about. They hid that shit. Our lost civilization of the past that people call Tartaria. They were all about this technology too. So the electrostatic force itself that's why it can move on a dime. It's electrostatics. They have these machines that can alter the electrostatic force of our nature, of our realm. And if they reverse engineered them or just designed them, I have blueprints in the film showing you the blueprints that governments around the world have designed these crafts based on electrostatics. So they're here, they're real. The disclosures now, it's just, what are they doing with them? Are they just going to scare us the rest of our lives with them, or just fly them around for fun, or just go to the outer lands and visit their friends? I don't know what they're doing with them. I do know that they have hologram technology that'll make it look as real as possible. They already have that. They've already utilized those. And they also have man-made crafts. So the combination of those two, that's scary, man. And I'm not fear-mongering, but it's fucked up that they could do that tomorrow. And I think the COVID-influenced running to the store to buy a face mask type of people are going to fall for it. They have no idea how easy it would be to beam in every metropolitan area in the world, every major city in the world with their 5G technology. Wonder why there's so much 5G. It'll be hand in hand utilized. 5G beaming technology holograms that look like UFOs across the world, and then having a few real ones that they designed in the air during that, blowing shit up for real below with direct energy weapons or whatever they want to do. I pray it doesn't come to that. The point I'm trying to make is they could possibly do that. And I'm trying to make people aware of that. It's not about fear mongering. It's about, you need to be aware. At least you need to be aware that they can do that, guys.
Right on. Yeah, and I think that there's also free energy implications involved if we were to ever, as the general public, discover what's behind anti-gravity, electrogravitics, things of this nature, that we wouldn't have a need to rely on the government, any type of military industrial technology that they're keeping from us. We would have access to this and we wouldn't be necessary to rely on it.
Right. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man. We don't need a government. We never have. We never will. The government is here, put in place to rule over us and to control us and to break up the family, to influence us, to mentally get in our heads and indoctrinate us. It's all a part of the system. I don't know who runs the system, but this system needs to stop. It needs to be reset. We need a new world, not a new world order. We need a new world. And the way to get a new world, heaven on earth, as I would pray for, is to eradicate all evil and dissolve it. And I think a big part of the evil is NASA, is the space agencies, because once humanity is on board with, oh yeah, we're not on a ball at all. They have been lying and stealing our money for too long. Once NASA, SpaceX, and all these agencies, ESA, RASA, all of them, once they all dissolve and the governments fold and universities fold, our new world can start. The people can control this now. And once we keep teaching and having teachings about our past and our history, our real history, and the ancients and the giants and the structures and the technology and things that we can, let's go make water cars again. But there's no form of getting suicided because we already eradicated all of them. So there's steps that humanity can and will take. And I think that the war that we're in right now is already being won by us, and we will continue to win this war. And we will talk about this in the future in a different light, because I think when you walk outside in the next 10 years, it's not going to look the same. But I think it's going to look better. That's just me.
No, there always has to be a next agenda, a next big thing that we have to be afraid of that's going to be happening. And it looks like they have a couple of different possibilities for this. Like he said, we could have the big alien invasion. I do think they spent too much time and energy and money into the whole COVID and booster and jab scenario to let that fall away. So it's possible, I think we could either see that or the pandemic part 2. What do you think about that?
Nah, pandemic 2.0 will not happen. I don't even think they'll try it. I think they'll pretend like they're going to try it, but they're not going to try one. It's over, man. This pandemic shit's over. They got what they wanted. I don't think they got enough arms, but they got enough arms to know that they killed a third of them. A third will die soon, and the other third will never be able to reproduce again. So when you do those numbers, you see the math that, you know, their depopulation agenda is still intact as we speak. And they're never going to be able to get what they wanted. 80%, 90% of the world jabbed and fucked up. They gave up. We won that war. Whether it feels like we did or not, we did. There's no vaccine passports. None of that's going to happen. It's over. Will they attempt to do something again? No, not in a COVID-19 stance. I don't think so. I know business owners in California that are completely Biden-fied and masked and all that stuff. And yeah, round 1, they were all about all that shit. And now, you know, I'll walk by and be like, hey man, if there's a pandemic tomorrow, I always talk shit to all of them. It's like, are you going to cut? They're like, never again. And these people still wear masks, you know, it's like, they're like, we're never going through. I don't care what the TV says. And these are the people that, you know, are not like us. So I'm like, wait, if they're like that, multiple people acquaintances I've seen, like, we're never going to fall for that shit again. I'm never closing my business. I'm never doing that. I'm never doing this. I'm never asking for jab cards even. And these are jabbed people because they know it took them a while, but they realize, yeah, that was all fucked up, man. Fuck that. So I think that they know that they're not going to be able to do that exactly again. But a lockdown, that's different. A lockdown can come with alien threats, man. And I wouldn't put it past them that they're going to start doing something with that, unfortunately.
Well, it doesn't seem like conventional warfare is going to be a thing either.
No.
The majority of the people aren't going for that. They're not being scared into jumping into wars with other countries anymore. So the next big step may be war with aliens.
Well, I mean, as Ronald Reagan said multiple times, what if we had an outside threat that we all universally have to come together? And he even said, I put in the film something, not verbatim, but something along the lines of like, we might not be able to have that possibility, meaning they might not be able to come down. So we will do it anyways. Like, he's literally saying, if that's not a possibility, we could still come together and do it. What are you talking about? Well, yeah, this is what they're talking about. So I think it was like a joke in terms of like wherever he was speaking at the UN or whatever. But he's serious in the sense of, they don't have to wait around. They know. Warner von Braun, one of his friends, this lady, this woman, spoke many times in person about this stuff. And on his deathbed, he admitted to her that this whole thing was a scam, this alien invasion, that it's coming and it's a scam and it's all fake. And she's in the film too. And she's spoken to Warner von Braun, the Nazi traitor, you know, the piece of shit that started running NASA in the beginning and all that. And she admitted that it's all phony. And so did he. Knew that. They know that. NASA knows it. SpaceX knows it. But the public doesn't know. The public still thinks that, you know, maybe one day some creature from billions, trillions of miles away is going to come here and do something. It's 2023. It's never been done. So they have their game plan ready to go. I think they're going to execute. I do. I don't know if it's going to work. All I can do is pray that humanity TikToks the shit out of it with a laughing emoji. That's all I can do, because I mean that, because that's literally the test results they're looking for. Is the fear, or is it getting ridiculed? If their tests are getting ridiculed, it's the same as when they rolled out swine flu and they started saying you need to wear a mask starting tomorrow. No one did it because they didn't have enough marketing tools. It didn't work. People don't even remember that. That's how much it didn't work with Obama to wear a mask and do all that shit. They tried this with swine flu, the COVID shit. Vaccines are coming. None of it. Everybody just, no one cared. And it didn't work. So they had a better strategy for round 2, which was the pandemic that we know of. So maybe round 1, hopefully humanity laughs at it and hopefully there is no round 2 because World War III will be ended by then. I don't know, man. We'll see.
Right on. We're in interesting times for sure. What's next in the pipeline for you, Sean?
Yeah, I'm working on a project right now. It's going to be called Old World Order. It'll be owofilm.com once it's up and running. It's going to be on our previous civilization before us, man. I'm sick of the lies of people on horse and buggy in the early 1900s designed and built structures built for giants and giant stairs and giant doors and free energy and technology all over the place. That wasn't made by them. That was all free to them. So what happened? Who was here before us? Who was just here? Because the history books are lying, obviously. So the timeline does not match, man. Some of these structures, you know the structures I'm talking about, right? Some people call it Tartaria, but some of these ancient structures were claimed to be like, so say you see a photo of a structure from 1920. They took it down 2 years later. So the story is they were built in 1920 and taken down in 1922. What? By that same guy on the horse, the little tiny centimeter of a human in the photo on the ground, this giant building, and they built it. No. All that's a lie. So I'm getting together with the experts in this field. I'll throw a few names out there: Dr. Narco Longo, and Martin Liedtke, Flat Earth British. Even Max Egan is going to be jumping in this one. I'm going to be getting the people that know this is their life, this is their career, this is their forte, this is their expertise, all 10, 20 years of knowledge, authors, people that have written books, published successful books on these topics. I'm going to be traveling a lot in this one, a lot of boots on the ground, a lot of drones in the sky, hitting these buildings, wanted to go see what's on top of them, what's around them. We can't go up there, right? I mean, we're not allowed up there, so send some drones. So I want to really put together a film with, just like when Level came out, the original in 2021. I did that because everyone's like, hey, we heard about this flat earth stuff. What can we watch? I'm like, we don't really have a documentary or a film. So I want to be someone to do that. I made 3 of them. This will be my first on our lost history. It's called Old World Order.
Right on. Awesome. Well, we'll be looking for that. Sean, thank you. And we'll do this again for sure. Before you head out, let the audience know where they can find all your content.
Everything I ever do and will do is on hibbelerproductions.com, HIBBELER.
Rock on. All right, Sean, we'll do it again soon. And until next time, everyone, have an excellent evening. We'll talk again tomorrow.